Okay, so we'll see how to execute PHP script to implement database creation. Okay, so here we need to establish the database connection here. For that, we require declaring some certain variables here. So server name, localhost, username, root, password is empty here since there is no password, and DB name, which is optional here. If you want, you can write. Okay, you can declare this variable. It's not required unless you are manipulating with the database. Okay, so here there is we are not we have to create a database here, so there's no need of writing this. Okay, it's optional. If you want, you can write, otherwise you can skip this. You can skip this writing declaring this variable here. Okay, and then we have create connection. That is, we need to create a connection here. We need to establish connection towards MySQL. Okay, MySQL database. We have to establish. We have to create connection here. Okay, so here we have an object called $con. Okay, and here we have MySQLi function here. Okay, so which is using PHP in order to establish a connection. We also have some cases you might have seen MySQL, which is a older version or used in the older version of the PHP. But this MySQLi is an improved version of MySQL function. Okay, so this is used in the modern versions of PHP. And here we are passing some parameters, that is server name, username, and password. Okay, and these are the references. You don't have to type these references here. You only have to pass these arguments. So that is dollar server name, dollar username, and dollar password. Okay, so this is it. We have to pass the arguments here, and these are the arguments. And then once you're done with that, then you have to check if there is any problem with the connection, if there is any error in the connection. So if there is any connection error, okay, then you have to print some error message there. Okay, for that we are using a die function in PHP. We have a die function for handling the errors. Okay, in error handling we use die function. Yeah, so here it is used to print a message if there is any problem with the connection. Okay, so here that is what it does here. So connection failed message will be sent if there is any problem in the connection. Okay, and then we have to create a database here. So once you're done with this, so $SQL, you have a variable here, and to this we are assigning the SQL query here. Okay, that is create database, college database file. Okay, so if you remember the syntax you have studied in SQL, you might have studied queries. If you can recall, the syntax for this for creating a database is create database name. Okay, and then once you're written that, then again we have to check if the database has been created successfully or not. For that, again we are using a if statement. If there is any error in the program, sorry, if there is any error regarding the creation of the database. Okay, so here if $con, this operator query, inside that, against the reference you don't have to type this, so you only have to write within the function $SQL. Okay, so SQL is nothing but this database that we have created here. Okay, so double equal to true, so it checks here if it has been successfully created or not. If it has been successfully created, if this, it means that if this condition is true, if it satisfies, then it has to print database created successfully. Otherwise, okay, it will print error creating database, some message here. Okay, that is if there is any problem with the creation. Okay, creation of the database that. Okay, and then once that has been written, that has been done, and then connection close. So connection close in the sense that is whatever resources had been allocated, for all those resources will be released. Okay, so this is it, just a very simple program in order to establish the database to the MySQL database. Okay, so now we'll just see how this works, how the output of this program works here. So here, just type the 19th program database here. Okay, so it says fatal error and got MySQL I. Okay, that is in the line 20. That is so because why it's showing this error here is because already I have created a program here. I have already created with the database with the with an existing name. Okay, so what you can do is you can just give a new database name there. I will just give like any example like so I'll just give any database name here like Cindy. Okay, like Cindy College or something like that. Okay, you can just give. Then once you have saved it, and then I'll just refresh this, and then you can see the output that it will show is database created successfully, as you can see. Okay, so if you get an error like that, it means that the database name already exists. Okay, and you have to give another database name there. Okay, so this was it. So this was the output for this program. And another way, if you want to check the whether the database has been created, you just go to you can just go to XAMPP also. So you have XAMPP here. You can go to admin here. So please remember one thing. So when you write a program to connect to the database, to establish connection to the database, you need to start both this Apache and MySQL. Okay, and then to check if the database has been created, you can just go to the you can just click on that admin there, as I have shown in the XAMPP control panel. Okay, so you can access the database through this, or you can just type in the URL that is localhost slash php my admin also. Okay, so this is how you can also access the database. Okay, that is so here you can see that here there are along with some default databases, the database which we as a user create are also visible here. Okay, so I had created like Cindy and other database also I have created. Okay, so the recently currently one which I have created is Cindy here. Okay, so it is visible here, so in the sense that the database has been created successfully. Okay, so this is it, this was the program.